Hey, Coach, obviously you guys didn't execute the way you wanted to down the stretch, but what was working on the positive side? What was working?
We did execute the way I wanted to down the stretch. We just didn't make shots. Got
Right.
layups, miss. But it wasn't about the end of the game. It was more so about the beginning of the game. And us not coming out in the first 24 minutes. I thought their physicality really affected us on the offensive end. We couldn't get into our stuff. They really loaded up on us in that half court. We didn't move the ball like we are supposed to move the basketball and attack. And then when you're playing against a good team like this, you can't wait too late in the second half to try to perform. It's just too late. And so the way we played in the midway through that third quarter, we should have been playing to start the game, but we didn't have it. And this is the result you get. But, holding this team to 39 points in the second half, that was good to see. But overall, offensively, I thought we sucked.
What was working for you guys to make that comeback from being down to 16 to
Defense, competing, playing hard, bringing the physicality. Thought the second unit came in and really gave us a boost, and when you play on a team like this, when you're playing a good team, you can't start the game like we started the game and they expect to win. So hats off to those guys. They play well. I thought defensively we did a good job of, competing in the second half and holding this team to 39 points. But offensively, I thought that's what hurt us throughout the course of the game.
Appreciate it.
We'll go to Farbod.
Hey, Coach, we saw PG miss a couple of gimmies at the rim. Was that something you think was just in his head, or was his foot bothering him from before and he's still kind of not where he needs to be?
Oh, well, when you haven't played in a while, your timing and your rhythm is going to be off. That's to be expected. He had a layup he missed down the stretch. Kawhi missed a couple of bunnies in the layup. In the paint that could have tied the game up. So, when you don't play for a few games, you're going to be out of rhythm. So that's to be expected.
Justin Russo.
Hey, Coach. You guys gave up probably about 8 to 10 back cuts tonight to Denver. Does that come just from a lack of awareness, lack of energy, pop? What is it?
It comes from Joker being on the floor. I think he causes so much attention when you're digging and helping. And sometimes when you get the switches, you double team. He's going to pick you apart. And this team leads the league in the cuts and scoring off the cuts. But, when Joker's on the floor, he demands so much attention, which I thought we did a good job on him. But the other guys got off.
Thank you.
Miriam, you can go ahead.
Hey, Ty. Wondering what Denver was doing defensively to sort of thwart you guys. And they push you guys deep into shot clocks a bunch of times. What do you see on that end?
Daring us to pass the ball, loading up, daring us to pass the ball. Their switching, I thought, affected us a little bit, but we didn't swing the ball one time and attack on the weak side. So when teams are going to load up and switch, we got to move the basketball and make quick decisions, which we didn't do tonight.
Law, you can go ahead.
Hey, Ty, this ends the stretch of 8 games in 13 days. You guys have 2 days off, but you have the early game Sunday. How do you balance getting the team what looks like they need a lot of rest here with, appropriately figuring out on the court what needs to happen to bounce back Sunday?
We know what we need to do on the court. I think the rest is very important. We'll take tomorrow off and practice on Saturday. But we know what we need to do. They're smart guys. We understand we got to move the basketball. We got to move bodies. And, when we don't do that, nights like this, we struggle.
Rachel, you can go ahead.
Ty, it's a short season to begin with, and you're about 2/3 of the way through it. What's the most important thing for you guys in this final sort of chunk and kick of the season?
Just keep playing with the consistency we've been playing with over the last, 8 to 10 games. Like I said, the game before against who we just played? Orlando. I thought, guys ran. They was a little tired, but like tonight, I ain't like how we started the game. I thought defensively, we got our guards down. They got everything in transition. They got open threes. They got layups. They got cuts. Things we talked about. And then, I think continue to keep building offensively, sharing the basketball, attacking the paint, making the right play. So things we've been talking about all season long. Like I said, offensively, I thought tonight that's what really hurt us. This team scored 101 points, and we only scored 94. So if you hold this team to 101 points, you should definitely win the game. And we didn't do it tonight.
How much do you think things are going to change once Rondo can play?
I don't know. First, all the guys got to get, PG and Marcus, they got to get back in the rhythm, get back in the flow. Tonight they played. Didn't have a lot of pop, but it was a step slow. That's to be expected. And I'm probably saying going to happen with Rondo too when he comes back. But, once we get everybody back and start, understanding what we need to do, which we understand, but start doing what we need to do and getting guys back and getting guys healthy, we'll be fine.
Thank you.
It's time for a couple more. Go to Andrew.
Thank you, Rachel.
Hey, Ty, on Paul, that fourth quarter, he sat for about 5 minutes in the middle. Am I right in assuming that's kind of like a minutes cap thing, his first game back?
Yeah, you know that. You're smart.
Yeah. Didn't want to assume, Ty. And then with just Zoo, I mean, with Zoo, the numbers don't really reflect it, but there were some stretches where his defense was pretty suffocating. I guess just what do you think about the way he played?
I thought Zoo played, great. I thought, he called our coverages out. He did a good job on Joker trying to be physical. I thought he even did a good job switching up on Murray a couple of times. Zoo's been playing well. He gets out there on the floor every single night. He plays every night. And, what he's brought us, in that starting lineup has been great.
Thanks, Ty.
And Tomer, you can go ahead and close us out.
Hey, Ty. Obviously, you guys aren't going to go 72-0. And, even though you guys are going to lose some games, Kawhi and Marcus have both talked about bringing the energy, especially from the start. And you mentioned it too, like you have the last couple of weeks. Like, is it more fatigue or like why do starts like tonight happen sometimes?
I think you got to ask him, Tomer. I'm not playing, so I really don't feel. I'm tired at times myself, but I'm coaching the game, so I can just imagine how they feel. But you got to ask them. But the whole league's going through the same thing, so that's no excuse. I think the biggest thing for us is that not having enough bodies really hurt us as far as fatigue. But as far as playing the schedule we're playing, the whole NBA is playing the same schedule.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Have a great rest of your night. We'll go ahead and get into it with David.
Hey, Terance. I know last week after the trade, you talked about not really thinking too much about possibly filling Lou's role as the scorer off the bench, but you've had some pretty strong offensive games since then. Do you just kind of see yourself maybe being able to settle into that a little bit? And, despite the loss today, you still had a pretty good, a solid offensive game. Do you see yourself kind of being able to take on that role, especially, with your ability to shoot off the dribble and you're getting to the rim too with ease?
Filling Lou Will's role is really hard. He brought so much to the team. So I wouldn't say, me filling that role directly. I'm just playing my game and bringing what I bring to the team. And whether that's offensively, defensively, whatever it is, I'm just doing what I got to do to try and win. Scoring the ball, not scoring the ball, rebounding, whatever it is, I'm just trying to go out there and win. So I wouldn't say specifically trying to fill Lou Will's role now.
Thanks. Go to Rachel, please.
Hey, Terance. Just wondering now that you've gotten a few days in to actually speak to and talk to Rajon Rondo, what's it been like?
It's been pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. It's been really cool. He just knows the game so well. Every time I come back to the bench, he's letting me know something he saw or asking me a question or something like that. He's real eager to learn our offense. He's always trying to figure out what play we're running, how to run it, where everybody has to be. So it's so cool to see a vet like that with so much experience, just, so humble and ready to learn and stuff. It's cool.
He's obviously someone you looked up to. You knew his game. It's not like you didn't pay attention to him all these years. So how does the reality match up with what your expectation was?
It's right there with it. That's Rajon Rondo, and he's living up to the, that reality. I expect him to be who he is, just a guy coming in here, teaching everybody everything, what he knows. Even the way he passes the ball and walkthroughs, like you could just see, like he's real advanced with it. So it's cool to be around him.
Nice, thanks.
Thanks. Go to Miriam.
Hey, Terance, you tweeted this week that it's been a long week, and obviously you guys have had a bunch of games and you've been playing crazy important minutes. Was that a reflection of that, or how you doing?
I'm doing well. It has been a long week, a lot of games, a lot in little days. That's just a result of it. Your body can get a little bit tired, but you just got to fight through that and learn how to, work your body off the court to be ready for games like, back-to-backs and games against big teams like this.
Is that a process? Like, what have you learned in the last year or so about how to do that?
I've learned you just got to stay on your feet. When you're not on the court, you got to relax. Get treatment, whether you're at home or at the facility getting physical treatment, or at home on the Normatex, watching film, just staying off your feet.
Cam, you can go ahead.
Hey, what's good, Terance? The coach said you guys did a good job allowing 39 points to the Nuggets in the second half. You bring the energy typically every game, but to start off the game, you guys didn't quite start off with that intensity and sense of urgency that you need to play with a team highly ranked as the Denver Nuggets. What is the reason for that, would you say? And how can you correct that in the future?
It's not always easy. The game can go different ways. Basketball is a game of, mistakes and runs and stuff like that. So it's not always easy. It's not always going to go the way you want to go. It's not always sub in and automatically bring a whole bunch of energy and then start coming back and tie the game. Like, it's not always going to go like that. So just one possession at a time. I think that we got to realize that we're going to get everybody's best punch. They want to beat the Clippers when they come in here. They see the names we got. They want to play hard. They want to play their best basketball. So I think we just got to realize that and come prepared better, and just be ready to compete from the start. I'm not saying that we didn't, but we could have done a better job of just competing for that whole first quarter.
Thank you, Terance.
Thanks. Go to Andrew.
Hey, Terance, obviously your breakout continues, and teammates have always talked about how impressed they are with you, but this is still such a veteran locker room, one of the oldest in the league, and Rondo, brings that kind of gravitas even more. Do you feel like you're at this point, you're comfortable? Like if you don't see an effort that you like defensively or whatnot, like you feel comfortable speaking up to the veterans and kind of letting them know? Like, do you feel like you have that room in this locker room?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these guys know me. These guys know that, I want to win and how bad I want to win. And they know that I'm going to bring the energy. So, if I do speak up, it's not coming from a place, other than I'm trying to win and, they're trying to win. And I can see their response. They take it. They're like, all right, yeah, let's go. You're right, blah, blah, blah. We just get on to the next play. So I would say so. I've been with these guys for almost 2 years now. So, we all know each other. It's all fine. But yeah, I feel like, I can speak up and say something if we don't see things going the way it should be.
For sure. Thanks, man.
Thanks. Apologies in advance if I jack up your name, Jacopo.
Yeah. Hi, Terance. What do you feel is the biggest part of your game that got you into this role very important for your team?
The biggest part I'd probably say is my aggression offensively, just applying what I've worked on, all off season, all beginning of the season, just applying it into the game and picking my spots where I know I can, score without being too selfish or score without, forcing anything, just picking my spots. And, a lot of it comes with film and watching, where I can and can't score.
Thanks. We'll take one last one from Mason.
Hey, Terance. You guys, it seems like you did a pretty good job guarding Jokic, at least, in terms of scoring, but everybody else kind of beat you. Is it frustrating when you take away a team's best player and yet they still find ways to get the best of you?
Yeah, it can be. It for sure can be. But like I said, we're gonna get everybody's best punch. Everybody's gonna come ready to play when they come in this building, and they're gonna play the Clippers. So we just gotta be ready for that and know that going into games.
Thanks, Terance. Have a great rest of your night.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead and get started. Tomer, you can go ahead.
Hey, Paul. First of all, you've been, I think you missed last game. How are you doing with the right foot injury?
Better. I mean, it's a day-to-day, process, but I'm doing better.
Was it related to the bone edema thing from a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of flared up again.
I guess, as you manage throughout the season, like how do you, gauge when you should be going, when you shouldn't be going? Obviously, you want to be out there, you want to be playing and helping the guys out, but the team's goals are obviously playoffs and eventually championships. So how do you balance that?
I mean, you play through what you can, and what you can't, you got to be smart about. If it was my way, I wish I could be on the court, play all of the games. But some days it's more sore than others. So, you just look ahead and plan ahead.
Thanks.
Thanks. Go to Farbod.
Hey PG, in regards to that bone edema injury, is it something where they told you it's going to be lingering for the rest of the season, or is it going to fade away at some point?
Well, we're trying to figure it out now. Honestly, we're trying to get on top of it now. Hasn't seemed to go away yet. But, at this point, it's just managing the soreness and the swelling.
Thanks. Go to Andrew.
Paul, Ty before the game was talking about how, when there's not as much lineup continuity as you would like because of injuries, it can be hard sometimes to feel like you're making as much progress as you would be otherwise. Because you guys have been through this with injuries for the last 2 years, like, are there ways you feel like, even though you guys are shorthanded, you guys can still make progress, find ways to maximize your time together, even when Serge and Pat and Rajon are still out?
Yeah, I mean, it's no pity party. Nobody's going to feel sorry because we got guys out. I mean, we got to find ways to get the job done. And I think we've been doing that up until the last, 2 games where we've slipped, had some slippage. But I think overall, I mean, we've been finding ways to do it. We've had some lineups that hasn't played a lot of minutes together out there, and we've been successful through a lot of those times. So, that has nothing to do with it. I think tonight we just we didn't bring it. We didn't have enough as a team.
Thanks. Go to Rachel.
Hey, Paul. You guys are getting down to the final third of the regular season. And I know you talked about at the beginning of this season that you really wanted to use the regular season to get ready for the playoffs in a way, maybe differently than last year. So what do you think you still need to do in this final third that will set you up for success in the postseason?
I think for us is, I think it's just building habits still. We just got to solidify habits, and hopefully at some point we'll have a full healthy team and a full team that's back, so we can just get games under our belts with those lineups. But for us, it's just building habits, and creating an identity, which you always want to do. I think as well as we played this year, that the identity of this team is. We're still trying to solidify that. So at some point, we got to find who we are and stick to that as a team.
What would you like the identity of this team to be, ideally?
I mean, we just got to be a tough team. We got to be a tough team that flies around defensively. We're so good. We have so many athletes. When teams play us, that should be what they fear. That this team, is scrappy and they fly all across the floor and they make plays defensively and offensively. I mean, we got enough to score and make plays, especially if our defense is rolling and our defense is leading to our offense. That's when we're at our best. So I think for us, it's just really hanging our hat and stepping up defensively.
Thank you.
Thanks. Go to Ohm.
PG, how different of a look do the Nuggets present now with Aaron Gordon out there? How much more of a challenge are they?
I mean, it's more so. I thought they had a lot of crashers, and they're a cutting team. So Aaron Gordon is perfect for their play style, and it almost fits right in with how they cut, they move, they play off the ball a lot. So I think, picking him up was big for him because that's his play style. And, he's going to shine in the offense. But I thought he was effective just with his cutting and extending plays with offensive rebounds and, just being a guy that we have to box out it was allowing another person to go and get a rebound. So, he definitely was a challenge for us.
Law, you can go ahead.
Well, you mentioned that you're trying to manage this foot toe issue. You had a dunk very early in this game, but there were some struggles driving, finishing in the paint, and just wondering, like, how do you manage that on the court? Like, how do you get to the point where you can feel like you can finish effectively and consistently?
Yeah, I mean, it's just figuring it out. It's just figuring it out. There's really no pop on the right foot because it's, I can't really bend my toe and have that flexion all the way on that second toe. So it's just figuring it out. I got to figure it out. Most importantly is if I can play and play with minimal pain, that's what I'm going for. We got to figure it out though.
Thanks. Go to Justin Russo.
Hey, PG. You guys just got done with a 6 games and 9-night stretch. How much are you and the guys looking forward to 2 straight days off to rest, recalibrate, and get ready for the stretch run?
I think everybody is. Everybody is. We'll definitely use these 2 days to kind of, charge the batteries. It's more of a mental thing than physical. So I think it's good. Get away, take some time off. And, I'm sure we'll have a practice day on the second day, get back to it, and kind of just iron out the wrinkles that we've been having.
Thanks.
And we'll take one last question from Mason.
Hey, PG. I'm just wondering if you could share some thoughts on Terance, just what you see his potential to be as a player going forward.
I mean, his potential is through the roof. You see a kid that can do everything, and to me, those are the scariest players because you can't put a position on them. T-Man is a positionless player. And in this game, that's golden. So he's got the gift. He's got the gift to do everything. He can defend. He can score. He rebounds great. He pushes in transition. Once he just develops the confidence in his shot and shooting off the bounce, and working on his handle, all those things come as a young player. You continue to work and put the time in, all of that stuff. Those are the stuff that, if that's the last thing that they got to work on, you're going to be a good player. He's sky's the limit for the kid, and I'm looking forward to it. To see him develop and see him grow.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul. Have yourself a great rest of your night.
Appreciate it. Thank you.